This is a short video to go over the anatomical regions of the body. We have two views. We have an anterior and a posterior view. And the major regions of the body are, you have the head, okay? This is referred to as the cephalic region. Then we have the upper limb, which extends from the shoulder all the way down to the hand. And so that's the upper limb. Then we have the lower limb, which goes from the hip all the way down to the toes, and that's the lower limb. Then we have the chest region, so that's the thoracic region. The thorax is the chest, so that's the thoracic region. And then we have, in the thoracic region, we have right in the middle, we have a bone. It's called the sternum, so that's the sternal region. Then we also have the pectoral region. Sometimes you hear your pecs, talk about your pectoral muscles, so that's a pectoral region. And then we have where the breasts are, that's the mammary region. Then we have the abdominal region here down to here, so this is abdominal. And then we have your belly button here, so that's the umbilical region. And then we have your hands, and that's called the manual region. And the palm of your hand is called the palmar region. Then we have, the book refers to this little area here as the pelvic region, but really the pelvic bones bound this entire section here. So this is the pelvic region. And where the legs meet the trunk, there's a ligament called the inguinal ligament, and this area also together is the inguinal region. And then where the pubis bones come together, you have the pubic region. And then underneath, on the inferior side is the surface, is the urethral opening, the vagina, and the anal opening, and that is called the perineum or perineal region. And then way down here on the bottom, you have the feet, and those are called the pedal or pedal regions. And the top of the foot is actually called the dorsum of the foot. Back up here, just look at the upper limb briefly. There's also the elbow. And the elbow, you can kind of think of it as a kind of a cube, okay? So it goes through like that, right? So that's called the cubital region. So the front part of the elbow here is called the Anta cubital region. And you'll see the prefix anta used meaning before or in front of in several situations. Then let's go to the posterior view. So we have the cephalic region, and the back of the head here is called the occipital region, and the occipital bone's right underneath the hair and skin there. Then you have the neck, and that's the cervical region. Then we have the entire back here, okay, and that's the dorsal region. The front over here, anterior view, the front is also referred to as the ventral surface. So this would be the dorsal surface back here on the back side, okay, like dorsal fin, like you have in a fish. And then you have a bone here, and it's the scapula, so this is the scapular region. Then you have your vertebrae all down through here. I'm not drawing squares very well, but that's your vertebral region. Then you have here and here. That's the lumbar region. Then you have kind of a triangle-shaped bone here. That's the sacral. It's called the sacrum, so it's the sacral region. And then at the end down here is a small bone, and that's called the coccyx or the coccygeal region. Then the buttocks, those are called the, you've heard of your gluteus maximus, so that's the gluteal regions, the buttocks. And between the buttocks is a crack, and that's called the gluteal crevice or cleft. So gluteal cleft. It's also called the intergluteal cleft. Intergluteal cleft. It's also called the natal cleft. And then, looking at the lower limb, we have your thigh region. We're going to look at the back of the thigh, front of the thighs. It's all called the same thing. It's the femoral region because the femur is underneath there. And then we have the lower part of the lower limb, and that is actually called the leg. So a lot of times we talk about the leg being the whole lower limb, but actually it's two parts. The leg is actually the lower part of the lower limb where the calf and the shin are. Then you have, there's subregions of that, and you have the back of the knee is called the Popliteal Region. The calf here is called the Sural Region. The side of the leg over here is called the Fibular Region or the Peroneal Region. The heel is called has the calcaneus, it's the heel bone, so it's the calcaneal region. And then you have the bottom of the foot is referred to as the plantar or plantar. I'll usually say plantar region just to make sure people understand what I'm saying. And if we go back up to the upper limb, up here we have the upper part of the upper limb, and that's called the brachial region. And then we have the distal part of the upper limb, and that is referred to as the antebrachial region. And then we also have the back side of the hand, and that is referred to as the dorsum of the hand. Let's see, and there's only one other piece I didn't mention. So we have the back side of the knee. It's called the popliteal region. So the front side of the knee, where the kneecap is, that is the patellar region, because the patella is underneath there. And I believe that's all the pieces that we have on this diagram. So I'll see you on the next one.